CISSP Prepcast, Episode 81, Identity as a Service, IDaaS, and Cloud IAM. Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CISSP Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the ISC Squared CISSP exam with focused explanations and practical context. In this episode, we'll explore Identity as a Service, often shortened to IDaaS, and Cloud Identity and Access Management, or Cloud IAM. These are modern identity solutions specifically built for managing access in cloud-centric environments. As organizations continue to move applications, data, and infrastructure into the cloud, traditional identity systems are no longer sufficient. That's where these technologies come in. They allow for centralized, scalable, and secure identity control in environments that are increasingly dynamic, distributed, and integrated. Let's begin with a simple definition. Identity as a Service is a cloud-based solution that provides identity management functions such as authentication, authorization, single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, and access control. IDaaS enables organizations to offload the complexities of identity infrastructure to a specialized third-party provider. This not only reduces internal burden, but also improves performance, scalability, and security. On the other hand, Cloud IAM refers specifically to the identity and access control tools offered natively by cloud service providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. These tools help organizations manage user access to cloud resources, enforce role-based access control, and ensure strong authentication practices, all from a centralized cloud-native interface. Both of these technologies, whether delivered by a third party as IDaaS or natively as Cloud IAM, are critical components of a secure, scalable cloud infrastructure. So what are the specific benefits of Identity as a Service? First and foremost, IDaaS reduces deployment complexity. Instead of building and maintaining your own identity infrastructure, you can use a trusted cloud provider to handle tasks like password resets, identity federation, token generation, and compliance logging. Second, IDaaS offers secure, seamless access to applications via single sign-on, or SSO. Users can authenticate once and then access multiple resources across domains without being prompted again for credentials. That's not just convenient, it reduces password fatigue and minimizes phishing risks. Third, IDaaS is highly scalable. As your organization grows, you can add users, integrate applications, and expand services without worrying about identity performance bottlenecks. Fourth, IDaaS platforms often include real-time monitoring and analytics tools that help detect suspicious login patterns, brute force attempts, and other anomalies tied to identity misuse. And finally, these platforms typically embed compliance controls, such as access certification workflows, identity governance tools, and audit trail generation. This makes it easier to meet requirements for GDPR, HIPAA, PCI DSS, and other regulatory frameworks. For more cybersecurity books and exam guides, don't forget to visit cyberauthor.me. Next, let's examine the advantages of Cloud IAM, especially for those organizations already invested in one or more cloud ecosystems. These native identity platforms, like AWS Identity and Access Management or Azure Active Directory, offer granular role-based access control. This means users and services get only the minimum permissions required to perform their tasks, reinforcing the principle of least privilege. Cloud IAM tools also support identity federation and directory synchronization. You can integrate them with your on-premise Active Directory, for instance, or with other IDaaS platforms. This enables hybrid identity management that spans both on-premise and cloud environments. Another key benefit is visibility. Cloud IAM offers detailed logging of who accessed what, when, and from where. These logs are essential for both troubleshooting and security forensics. And finally, Cloud IAM simplifies user onboarding, offboarding, and permissions management, especially in multi-code environments. Whether you're spinning up virtual machines, assigning permissions to developers, or granting access to business intelligence tools, Cloud IAM ensures that every action is authenticated, logged, and controlled. Now let's move to the practical side, implementing effective IDaaS and cloud IAM practices. Start by clearly documenting your identity policies. This includes definitions of roles, access control requirements, credential expiration policies, and governance responsibilities. Then select IDaaS solutions that integrate smoothly with your existing systems. Look for compatibility with your directory services, your cloud applications, and your multi-factor authentication stack. From a cloud IAM perspective, take time to understand the role definitions and permission models unique to each provider. For example, AWS uses policies attached to roles, Azure uses role assignments linked to resource scopes, and Google Cloud uses a combination of predefined and custom roles. The underlying logic differs slightly in each case, so you'll need to tailor your configurations accordingly. Train your IT staff and security teams on best practices for identity provisioning, access reviews, and credential management within the IDaaS and Cloud IAM platforms. Automation is key. Manually managing cloud access simply doesn't scale. This brings us to the security controls that support identity services. Encrypt all identity data, both at rest and in transit. Use TLS for secure communications, and apply encryption standards like AES for stored credentials. Deploy real-time monitoring and alerting systems to flag login anomalies, impossible travel scenarios, or multiple failed authentication attempts. Consider using UEBA, User and Entity Behavior Analytics, to strengthen your threat detection capabilities. Regularly audit all identity and access control configurations. Check for over-provisioned roles, unused accounts, stale credentials, and inconsistencies in federation trust relationships. Run periodic vulnerability assessments and penetration tests focused on your identity services. This includes testing SSO flows, token issuance endpoints, and cloud IAM APIs. And finally, manage credentials securely. This includes rotating access keys regularly, enforcing multi-factor authentication for administrative access, and limiting the lifespan of temporary security tokens. And let's talk now about continuous improvement in identity management for the cloud. Start with a feedback loop. Every time there's a misconfiguration, access violation, or security event, update your policies and adjust your controls accordingly. Stay current with identity, vulnerabilities, and best practices across all cloud platforms you use. Subscribe to update feeds from your IDaaS and Cloud IAM vendors, and monitor bulletins for relevant patches. Ensure cross-functional collaboration between cybersecurity, human resources, cloud engineering, and compliance teams. Identity is at the center of so many workflows. It can't be siloed. And don't forget user education. Regularly train users on how to manage authentication apps, recognize phishing attempts, and maintain strong credential hygiene. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cyber CISSP Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.